Hello, and welcome to Tuesday Talks with Mom. I'm Tera Myers, and I am so glad you're here. As part of Moms on a Mission, we're empowering moms across the country to stand up and advocate for their children's educational freedom. As a mom of an adult son with Down syndrome, I've walked this road, navigating the school system and fighting for the right to choose the best education for my child. And now I'm here to share that journey with you. Every 2 weeks, we'll sit down with different moms from around the country and provide thoughtful advice and share our experiences. Together, we're building a community of moms who are finding their voices, taking action, and making a difference. Welcome to Tuesday Talks with Mom. Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us this evening for our Tuesday Talks with Mom. And we have with us today the core moms, Clarice and Becki and Tera. So thank you so much, guys, for coming on to just have a nice little table talk together.
I love
Yes.
when we get together. It's
Yes,
always a
so
great
good.
time.
I love it. Well, the new year has come, new school year started, new programs, new opportunities, and moms and dads have questions. So
Mhm.
I thought tonight it would be a great opportunity for us to talk about parental fears. But before we do that, I want to give you a couple housekeeping. We are recorded. We're not doing live. So if you have questions, feel free to just use the chat or make a comment. Ask your questions within the video in YouTube or in Spotify, and make sure that you get a hold of us in any of the links that you see on the screen, and we will be sure to answer your questions and help you get the answers that you need. We're here to help you, and we want to hear from you. So, ladies,
Yeah.
parental fears. So I'll start. I've got a couple parents that I've heard from that have contacted me, and they are fearful. They most of them have been public school students, but also some private school parents who have tried new programs, and they're just really cautious in navigating the waters of what if I have questions. The particular ones that I've heard from most recently have children with special needs, and they have concerns, they have questions, IEP issues, and that whole advocacy piece as a parent coming in and trying to work with whatever program or school that they're dealing with, and feeling like there might be some retaliation. And how do you go in there and keep your cool and not lose it, but also bridge the gap so that you can make sure that your child is getting what they need? So, moms, what do we got for them? Let's have a chat about this. Who wants to go first?
I will tell you, as a teacher, I know that the retaliation concern is real. Unfortunately, not every teacher is like that, but there are some teachers that feel very defensive when it comes to um, the job that they're doing in the classroom. And as a mom, we do not want our other children to uh, receive possible retaliation. Like when my last name is Uccello, I very well may be the only Uccello in the entire state of Missouri. Um, when people hear Uccello, they know it's one of four people. So, we don't want our families to have to bear the burden of retaliation as well. But Tara, you have said before, when you have come to the school to meet with teachers, you have brought a coffee or a beverage or a little snack. And I think as parents, when we come in with an open mind and, not automatically wanting to burn the building down, because that's my first, honestly, that's my first thing as a mom. I just want to burn everything down, and because I want my kid to have the best. And when they don't, that's my first reaction. I would caution you to not have that reaction. Do the Tara thing, bring a little snack, bring a little beverage. And also, I say this all the time, make sure that you document everything. So if you don't have the email documentation and you are having a one-on-one chat, take notes and have those notes available so that if you do need to go up the chain, of leadership. You can say, I met with this person at this time on this day, and this is what we talked about. And that way it protects you. It protects the other people involved. You just want to give people the benefit of the doubt. That would be my first thing.
Clarice, do you have anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, what I would say is, as a mom first and a seasoned special education advocate, what I would say would be to always bring you someone with you, like bring a parent advocate, a parent navigator, someone who may have already traversed this type of transition from a different school or trying to choose the best educational option that you have. Always having someone there who may have specialized knowledge and implementation, and how do you deal with children who have special needs and are worried about transferring to a different school that they're unfamiliar with. Having someone with you is always helpful. And what I like to say is, sometimes, you know, you need someone to play what police would say is good cop, bad cop. And so if you bring an advocate along who doesn't have a child in the school, who can be a little bit more forceful on things that are really important to you as a parent, that you want to get across, but you still want to have a great relationship with the school, bringing in that advocate, that parent navigator, whatever name you want to give it, who can come in and do that and speak for you and then leave, and the school may not necessarily have to see them again unless something else comes up, then you can still keep that relationship that you have with the school while that other person gets to be the bad cop.
That's a great idea. And I like the idea of having a second set of eyes, a second set of ears, because I know when I am under stress, I don't always hear things correctly. And so to have another person there to hear and see and to possibly take notes as well, that is valuable.
Absolutely.
No, this is why I think our chats are so important, not only for us to share ideas, but most importantly for these other parents and colleagues out there that are like, how do we solve this problem? Because, you know, many hands make for light work. And you guys, you reminded me, Clarice, of well, first of all, Becki, Becki, you reminded me of every IEP meeting. I would bake a fresh loaf of bread, you know, and take it up there. And I'll never forget this one supervisor that showed up. She didn't listen to a doggone thing that was being said, but boy, she ate that entire loaf of fresh banana bread. And I was so mad. I was like, listen. So I remember
Loaf of bread right here.
I did. That's right. I did a big loaf, you know, and I called her out on it when she was not paying attention. I said, well, if you wouldn't have been so busy eating, maybe you would have paid attention to the fact that you need to sign this document. I was really a little fired up, and I was pleasant about it, but I just was not thinking, you know, I'm glad you enjoyed my baking skills, but let's take care of the students. But Clarice, you reminded me of another time, and just to kind of bring some levity to this topic, because parents get really upset. I really lived by the concept of taking someone with me. It is probably the well, there's so many good ones. Becki even said too, but bringing somebody with you. I didn't have anybody. I didn't have an advocate, and so our elementary school at the time happened to be right next door to our church. And I literally ran up there and I ran through the church and said, "Is there a secretary? Is there anybody?" And the music minister's wife was there, setting up for the play practice later. And I said, "Could you come with me?" She was a former teacher. I said, "I need your help." And I handed her a spiral notebook and a pen. And I said, "I don't care if you take your grocery list while you're sitting there. I don't care if you take notes on your cleaning. I need you to come and sit there and just look very important and write down anything that you can think of, because I need them to know that I have someone with me." And it changed the whole tone of the meeting. And I told this one parent that came and called me a couple weeks ago. I said, "Listen, never go unassisted. Always take someone with you. You both said it. Make sure that you've got double eyes and ears, because you do get boiled over. You do get passionate, and you do get concerned, and sometimes we get tunnel vision and we can't hear. But also, it is somebody that can write those informations down, and it changes the trajectory, I believe fully, of the meeting. My other thing for parents to remember is this: you are the driver of the bus, and your goal is to make sure that those other people, if you want them on the bus, that they want to be there too.
Exactly.
And even if they're told by mandate that they have to ride the bus, they're going to ride the bus and they're going to be throwing spitballs at the back of your head as you're trying to drive. So you have to be willing to come in there. And I told this mom, I said, you know what? It's okay to go in there and to go ahead and inflate their ego. Go ahead. It's okay. Every professional wants to know that they're respected for the knowledge that they have, even if they're not using it properly for your child. It's okay to go in there and say, I'm certain that you're probably already aware of this and probably already doing this, but I'm just going to go ahead and say it for the sake of the rest of the team. This is in Johnny's IEP. And I would like to know, since I know you're probably already doing it, could I see the notes? Because I must have missed them coming home. And they're going to be like, oh yes, I do know that. And I didn't give you the notes, or we didn't take the notes, or let me get my hands on the notes. I said, but you have already told them that you know they know this, and you know they're doing it, because you're showing respect for the fact that you appreciate their knowledge. And I said, sometimes you just have to go in there and go ahead. It's okay to fall on the sword. It's okay to say, Johnny must have brought those home and I must have missed them. So let's go ahead and look and see where you're at now. And that way you can have proper documentation. And then they have to confess and say, well, we didn't have any. Oh, okay. Well, how can we fix that?
Right.
And you give them the opportunity to tell you how they can fix their own problem.
Yes.
And if they don't fix the problem, then you then can say, well, may I suggest that we go ahead and put this in the IEP now, that every Friday you need to be sending those notes home. And exactly who could I expect will be sending those? Let me write that down. Because when you put it back on them and their professionalism and their ability to know it, they can't help but want to work with you, because you just told them how good they are at what it is that they're doing. So, my goodness, they certainly wouldn't want to live up to that, because you're recognizing that they do. And sometimes teachers, Becki, support this if this is true, but what I found, teachers are not respected enough. They're micromanaged oftentimes, not all the time, but oftentimes they're micromanaged by their supervisors and their administration. They're not given autonomy, and sometimes they're given too much to do without very little support.
Right.
So when you go in there and you recognize you are the professional, I know you know this, I know you're probably doing it. How can we come together to solve this problem? Because Johnny is not getting it, and I can't support him and support you if I'm missing something.
Right.
Or you have a problem getting something to me, or Johnny getting something to Johnny, and nobody's there to help you bridge the gap. And I found my teachers, and support me or correct me if I'm wrong here, they couldn't wait to come alongside me. I still have teachers that I see walking on the street that tell me, you are a fabulous mother. You did it all right. You supported us. You encouraged us. You recognized what we were trying to do. And we wanted to come along and help you. And I said, yes, I did get those notes that you snuck in my mail slot secretively, so nobody saw, because you wanted to help me. You wanted to help my son. Yes. So correct me if I'm wrong on that, but those things are so helpful.
You are right, Tara. And so often, more often than not, teachers' hands are tied. Maybe there is leadership that needs a reminder of the laws. Maybe administration is not providing enough support. More often than not, teachers want to do everything they can to support the students that they have. And I felt a little differently as a junior high teacher, because it's a different role than an elementary teacher. But I was always the teacher to volunteer, to give up my planned hour to go to an IEP meeting, because I wanted parents to see, I support your child, and I want you to speak up, and I want you to say the things that maybe I can't say.
Right.
Because as the parent, you have more, you have more say at the table than a general education teacher does, or a general education teacher who feels intimidated by administration. For example, I brought up during an IEP meeting, there was an 8th grade boy that was having trouble holding his pencil, and his mom had suggested something about occupational therapy. And I'm like, I think that's a great idea. And the process coordinator flat out told me later, she didn't want to embarrass me at the table, but she said, we don't offer that in junior high. And I go, why not? And she's
Right.
like, well, we just don't do that. And I said, well, I think that's dumb. And she said, Becki, you need to stay in your own lane. Well, that just fired me up even more because I thought, why aren't we doing what we can to support the students? But it's just such an awkward position for a teacher to be in. And, I did kind of say something to the mom later when I ran into her. I'm like, it is your right to request that.
That's right.
And like I said, I think more often than not, teachers want to do everything they can to support the students they have. But parents are the ones that can speak up and say what they want to say.
Now, I want to throw something in there, and Clarice, I want to get your take on this. This is especially important for choice programs. I think it's essential for parents to realize because a lot of parents now across our nation now get to choose where their children go to school. And parents are getting now federal support as well, a federal tax credit, right?
Yeah.
So that's coming. And so parents need to not be afraid. This is something that really frustrates me as a mom who has fought hard in speaking to our legislators, and I know you guys both have done the same thing. I'm like, parents, those of us that have gone before you and have helped pave the way, want you to realize, pick up your backpack and march on with it. Do not. The whole point of choice is that you now have the power to choose and also to unchoose, to change your mind if things are not working, right, Clarice?
Absolutely.
We need parents to take this and realize you are now, it's like shopping at the grocery store. If Kroger's chicken is bad, you're going to go somewhere else. And it's okay. We don't want many failing public schools reproduced in private entities or in optional entities, correct? I mean, let's talk about this a little bit, ladies. Let's focus on parents not being afraid to be, quote unquote, their children's advocate in their choice system. Tell me a little bit about that.
You guys both have said such wonderful things. One of the first things I wanted to add on to what Becki said, and then it ties into what you just said just now, is that parents are a child's best advocate. No one knows your child better than you do. So when you get to the IEP meeting or to the school with bringing an advocate, which we all agreed is a great thing to do, especially if you're dealing with fear, having someone with you, like Tera said, even if you don't particularly think you have the knowledge to be at the table, you being there with that pen and pad, they don't know what you're writing. They are going to be a little bit more on their best behavior and try to present themselves as part of the IEP team. Because parents, if you did not know, you are a part of that IEP team. You are a part of it. That means you work collaboratively together, and they need to see you as that. So walk into those school meetings as a team member, because that's exactly what you are. To Tera's point, what I would also say is this, is that we as parents, we have a right to choose the best educational setting that works best for our children, just as Tera just said. And so if our children are in a school that is not working for them, this federal tax bill that will be coming to, I hope, every state, and if not right away, all states should be adopting into this, because choice for parents, because of the children that they love, are going to be the future of our United States in the future. And we need to make sure that these kids are getting educated properly. And that's decided by parents, not anybody else.
Exactly.
That's right. And my big thing is I can't tell you how many parents that I get, even on a local level, that'll call me and say, oh, I made this choice and this is going well and that's going well, but I have this big issue that's not going well. And I said, well, did you make an appointment? Did you go in? Oh, well, I don't want them to retaliate against my child, because we chose this and this is a program of choice and they could kick us out. And I said, they're not going to kick you out. That's the beautiful thing And they may, maybe you're not aligning with whatever the program is. Okay, well, then you got to make that decision. But let's look at this. If you are,
Hmm.
you have
Hmm.
every right to address your concern, because in a public entity, you don't have a say in what goes on, really, essentially there. I mean, it's not a choice. It's, hey, you're assigned a zip code. But in a choice program, you bring with you your dollars. You
Yeah.
bring dollars with you. You are a consumer. And that's what is so great about this, is that you are the consumer, when no matter what it is, whether it's micro school, private school, public school, homeschool, you're the consumer. You get to choose. So if they're not following through on what they need to do, and this goes to children on IEPs or typical
Hmm.
children, you have to collaborate with them, because it's no longer, hey, sign this piece of paper, sign up. This is what we're offering you, like it or not. It's now, well, let's look at what it is I'm paying for, and am I getting it? Am I getting my consumer choice? Because if not, you can go ahead and load up your pocketbook and
Hmm.
take your documents elsewhere and make
Yep.
another choice. And parents, you'll have more choices. You'll have more opportunity if you become a very good negotiator, a good communicator.
Yes.
So I think that that's really important, whether your child has special needs, whether you have a typical developing child. I think and parents, I think, and I think you guys might agree, another note to this is, we have a lot to offer. Get involved, especially at a
Hmm.
choice program and at your public system. Do not sit on the sidelines and expect these teachers. Becki, speak up as necessary. Clarice, and what you've done, speak up as necessary. Do not sit on the sidelines and expect the school, the program, the choice program, whatever it is, to do all the work. You cannot,
Absolutely.
yeah, you cannot effectively educate children in today's society by parents just going off and doing their thing. Now, I'm not insinuating by any means that that's what parents are doing, but we need to be involved.
Yes.
Parents need to be involved. Teachers need help. The schools need help. The programs need help. And that help's going to look different. Wouldn't you guys agree? It's going to look different depending upon where you live,
Yes.
what program you've chosen, what types of teachers you have. I think we really have a lot to offer. And I also think in our next episode that we're going to be able to outline some of those things that we can do. But what are your thoughts on that? Does anybody have anything they want to say?
I wanted to say, first of all, competition raises all boats. And one
Yes.
of the things that our traditional public schools have not had is accountability, in the sense that if the school is failing, if the reading scores have been abysmal for decades or years, that school still stays open. When
Hmm.
we open up options and choice, and if that school that you choose to send your child to is not producing, like Tara said, you have the right to take your dollars and to go somewhere where you feel like that school is benefiting your child and your child is actually making progress. So that in and of itself is a game changer. Options
Absolutely.
create further accountability.
Yes, I would
I
agree with you
totally agree.
100%. Yes, I would agree
Absolutely.
100%. And nothing shows a job well done other than word of mouth advertising, or people that longevity stick for longevity. You know,
Yes.
that
Yes.
really determines. And so I think that that's true no matter what type of program that you're looking at, whether it be your
Absolutely.
public system, whether it be your private schools, micro schools. I think that we are eventually are going to see where children are fanned out across the landscape of different options for what suits their needs, for what works for them. And parents, I think, will be able to attest to whether or not that is working.
Yes. Well,
Absolutely.
I think of the parochial school that Izzy attended for 9 years, kindergarten through eighth grade. And first of all, when I think about the teachers there, there's not much of a turnover. There are teachers that have been there for literally decades. And I think that's a testament to that particular school. But also, I think of the parents and their level of involvement. I never saw that level of involvement um, when my daughter was in public school, when my son was in public school as a teacher. There's something about when parents are choosing an option, they become more invested in that option. And we want to see more parent involvement. Give them choices.
That's right.
Yes,
That's right.
yes,
I
yes.
think I think that that is so true. And given somebody that was told, "We don't want your help. Go home and let us do what you do." That's the best way to get parents to number one, not be happy, but also, I think that was intentional for
Hmm.
some reason. But that was the big difference that I saw when we made a change, was feeling included, feeling like we were included. And honestly, I often tell I tell schools that I say, you know what, do a new parent sign up, a new parent, bring an established parent along, to kind of show them the ropes. Hey, you've never been in a school like this before. Welcome. Let us explain to you how things work and how things go, like a new parent orientation,
Yep.
for volunteering and for being part of it, because everybody loves to wear their merch and to support their team. I know. Look at Becki; she just loves it. And we moms on the mission we're no different. We like our little merch as well. So I think that parents out there, I want to encourage you, and I know each one of the moms are going to have a final word here for you. But my final word is tune in 2 weeks for our final episode on this topic. Overcoming your parental fears, because we'll have more options for you, more ideas for you, some more scenarios to run by you, and hopefully, some of you will have presented your questions so that we can answer those on air. And if not, it'll be another episode of a wealth of information of things that we have done to get results, and suggestions and tips for you as well. Clarice, do
Yes.
you want to give a final word there for today's episode?
Yeah, I would say to parents out here who are navigating this space for the first time and have fears about, how do I navigate implementation? What is this whole choice thing? How do I do it? What I would say to parents is ask the questions. The same thing that you would tell your children in the school. If they have a question, they don't know the answer to it, the best thing to always do is to ask. And the choice programs in your state will have people, moms on a mission will be there to the best of our ability in numerous places to assist you all, to help you all to navigate the things that maybe you don't understand, so that you can become familiar with it, so you can turn around and become parent navigators or parent implementators to help other parents get the options that have helped your family.
I love it. Becki?
I just want to encourage parents that don't be satisfied with subpar programs. If you do not feel like your child is getting the education that he or she deserves, it is on you to speak up. And if you don't like the way the path is going, um, look for other choices in your community. Because as Clarice said earlier, you as a parent know your child the best, and you know what environment is going to work for them the best, and act on that.
Can,
That's
can I say
wonderful.
one more thing? Because
Yeah,
it's
sure.
just
Go ahead.
on me. It's just
Go
on
ahead.
me. Parents don't have time to wait. A lot of schools always tell parents, I hear this all the time,
Mhm.
oh, just wait, they'll grow out of it. Your children have no time to wait. They have one educational window to get a quality education. And now it is in your possession and you're in the driver's seat. Make the choice and do what's best for your children.
I
That's
love it.
good. That's good.
That's awesome. Well, listen, I hope you've enjoyed tonight's episode, because the moms are going to be back in 2 weeks to help you tackle more on parental fear. And we look forward to helping you. So get on out there, advocate for your children, enjoy this school year, and we look forward to seeing you soon.